Something strange is going on, y'all. The entire NBA, minus the Dallas Mavericks, of course, have based their entire future off of the mere possibility of being able to trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And even though that has nothing to do with the Mavericks, there's no scenario in which the Dallas Mavericks are trading for Giannis. This purgatory that we find ourselves in right now as he decides his future very much impacts the Dallas Mavericks and is starting to get a little bit annoying. Guys, welcome to a special Martin Luther King Day episode. Hope you guys are enjoying your holiday. We're going to grill steaks and watch the Mavericks beat the New York Knicks. Yeah, I said it. That's what we're doing for our holiday. It's a snowy day here in Denver. Let me know what you got going on this fine holiday. I love this day in particular because it means no work. It means the market is closed. It means that we're going to get basketball all day long, starting at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. So there's a lot to look forward to today. Of course, we're going to hone in specifically on the Dallas Mavericks and what we can expect to see on the court against the New York Knicks. And after we talk about that, we're going to talk about the Giannis stuff and how that impacts the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know that today's going to be all that long of an episode, but you know me, once I get honed in on a topic, I can just talk and talk and talk. We'll see how it goes, guys. Welcome. This is Your Mavs, a Dallas Mavericks podcast where all are welcome. Y'all better behave. So we got a lot to talk about today. Let's go ahead and dive in. For starters, guys, I do want to backtrack. I the other day I came in here on the pod and went on a diatribe about how egregious the tanking job is that the Utah Jazz are doing. Okay. I was really letting them have it, both here and on Twitter, everywhere. And guys, I didn't give the Mavericks enough credit here. I guess we're the best team in the NBA right now. So sorry, Jazz. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. The Mavericks are clearly the best team in the NBA. We are averaging 141 points a game over the past 2 games. And now we've got a matchup against the New York Knicks today at 3 o'clock Mountain Time. Guys, I'm joking. I don't think that we're actually one of the best teams in the NBA. That was obviously just a fluke, right? We put a bare bones roster out there, a lot of two-way guys, a 10-day contract guy. Yeah, a lot of those same guys are still going to be on the court tonight. So maybe we do get another 140-point performance. But let's keep in mind, we are on the road. We're going to be traveling to the Madison Square Garden. And I think the shooting heater that we are on right now is very much fake, right? Again, we've been without our 7 best players. The other day I said 6. I totally forgot that Max Christie wasn't in the game the other day against the Utah Jazz. So literally our 7 top players have been out the past 2 games. But today we will continue to play without Daniel Gafford. Again, he's nursing the ankle injury. And then PJ Washington, this was cited as personal reasons. He will miss his 2nd game in a row for personal reasons. I hope Utah Jazz fans don't catch wind of that news update because they're going to let us have it. And if they do, I probably deserve to get a little bit kicked back at me. Anyway, but the good news, guys, is that it's looking like Cooper Flagg may return from his ankle injury tonight. As of now, he is listed as questionable for this afternoon's matchup. Now, that doesn't obviously guarantee that he's going to be here. But listen, if you have the opportunity to make your Madison Square Garden, debut on the road against a former all-time Dallas Maverick, Jalen Brunson, I think you take that opportunity, right? And in fact, I think we're going to see both Cooper Flagg and Jalen Brunson return from their respective ankle injuries today. And it's going to be a fun not necessarily head-to-head matchup because I don't anticipate Cooper Flagg is covering Jalen Brunson on the perimeter. But I think we're going to see some fun stretches of those 2 trading buckets. It's going to be a fun game today. Let's talk some bold predictions. But again, I did want to mention, let's see. Oh, yeah. Not only is Jalen Brunson questionable to return from his ankle injury, the Knicks have also been without Josh Hart, and he is questionable to return. And heading into this game, the Knicks are playing poorly. Right now, they have lost 7 of their last 9 games. Guys, as terrible as the Mavericks have been, I don't know that we've had a 7 out of 9 losses type of stretch. Somebody fact check me on that. I didn't have time for that this morning. All I know is that the Knicks are playing very, very poorly right now. They have obviously dealt with some injuries. but they're not getting a lot of bench scoring. A lot of times it seems like they start off the games hot, and then it's stick in the mud type of offense in the second half, where they'll go entire quarters without being able to hit a 3-pointer. And as we've seen with the Dallas Mavericks in today's NBA, if you're not shooting 3-pointers at a high clip, whether or not you're connecting, if you're not shooting at a high clip from the 3-point line, you greatly negate your chances of winning that game. So coming into today, here's what I see happening in today's segment of You Heard It Here First with the advisor. So right now the Mavericks are riding a 2-game winning streak. Yeah, both of those wins were against a tanking Utah Jazz team. We're not going to put too much stock in those wins, right? They were fun to watch. Right. Again, we did average 141 points over those past 2 games. All the same, I'm still going to say that we're going to extend our win streak tonight. Not tonight. I keep saying tonight. Stop it, Ethan. Stop saying tonight. But yeah, we are going to extend our win streak today against the New York Knicks. We're going to win 114-110 on the road at the Madison Square Garden. Here's why. I mentioned a moment ago that Jalen Brunson is likely to return from his ankle injury. The first, You heard it here first, is as poorly as the Knicks have been playing, they've been playing without Jalen Brunson and without Josh Hart. So if we get both of those guys, or even just one of those guys back, I think we're going to get torched on the perimeter. I don't need to spend a ton of time talking about why I think that Jalen Brunson's going to line us up for 40 points. But that's precisely what I think is going to happen. We have not made any sort of improvements on our point of attack defending. When we come up against an aggressive guard that knows how to attack downhill, knows how to draw contact, knows how to get to the free throw line, we get torched. Okay, so I expect a lot of that today, right? Jalen Brunson puts 40 on our heads, but no big deal. I ain't worried about it. Cooper Flagg is going to get his first career triple-double today as he debuts at the Madison Square Garden. It's just, this is the stuff, these types of stories write themselves. Players love playing at the Madison Square Garden, right? I don't know if you've seen some of the historic games that Steph Curry has put up over there. Like, I think as it stands, he has the highest scoring outputs at the Madison Square Garden in NBA history. I point all that out just to say players love playing there. It's a bit of a mecca, and today is Cooper Flagg's debut there, right? So I think we're going to see a triple-double from him. He's going to do some special things. And I said this a few moments ago, I think he and Jalen Brunson are going to be trading buckets today. That doesn't necessarily mean that I think Cooper Flagg is going to end with 40 points. So let me just stop you there. I do think that we're going to see 25 or more from him, right? We're going to see an entire stretch, maybe an entire quarter of basketball tonight where I did it again. I said tonight. This afternoon when Jalen Brunson scores and then Cooper Flagg takes the ball down, he scored. I think we're going to see an entire quarter of that type of trading buckets. Again, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Last, You heard it here first. Not one, but 2 Dallas Mavericks are going to get double-doubles tonight. 2 of them. And I said tonight again, Lord have mercy. Hopefully my brain will be sharper the rest of the day. But to be fair, I slept in. It's a holiday. Get off my case. But the 2 Mavs that I see hitting a double-double tonight are Moussa Cisse and Najee Marshall. Moussa Cisse is going to get his double-double with points and rebounds, obviously, right? Like, he's not getting a bunch of steals. He's not getting a bunch of blocks. He's not dishing dimes left and right. So, yeah, he's a points and rebounds type of double-double guy. However, Najee Marshall, with his double-double, he is going to get it on the assist side of things. So, points and assists. He might even get close to a triple-double, right? Because he's just been balling out. He has been our best player, especially with Cooper Flagg off the court. But yeah, I expect Moussa Cisse and Najee Marshall to be making all sorts of hustle plays. They're going to be flying all over the place. They're going to be setting our guys up for success. Najee on the playmaking side, Moussa on the I'm going to crash the board side. Like, just get ready for it, guys. It's going to be a really, really fun game. Again, we're going to win 114-110 on the road at the Madison Square Garden. Go ahead and book it. You heard it here first. Okay, now as we prepare to wrap up today's episode, I mentioned this in the intro. Basically, the entire NBA has been held hostage by Giannis, okay? I don't know if we're ever going to get him to outright say those words. I request or I demand a trade. This is ridiculous. I got to get out of here. No. And you got to respect the amount of loyalty that he's shown, the amount of commitment he has shown to continue doing his very best, playing winning basketball, bringing winning basketball to the city of Milwaukee, right? He's not going to say, I need a trade. And Milwaukee's like, if he's not requesting a trade, we're not going to trade him. However, as I said, the entire NBA is thinking, okay, if at any point he does request a trade, which, again, I said, I don't think he's going to ever say those words. But if he did, and this is a big but, a lot of NBA executives look at that as a golden opportunity, as like, hey, we don't have to do anything right now until we have clarity over what Giannis is going to do, right? If that means that he's going to request a trade now, and the Bucks have urgency to move him before the deadline, great. We have a solid plan of what we're going after. We're going to throw the kitchen sink. We're going to throw the entire thing at the Bucks. See what lands. The bad news about all this is if there is no trade before the deadline and all these teams are waiting up on what Giannis's decision is going to be, then that leaves teams like the Dallas Mavericks just totally high and dry, because we've been communicating with teams like the Atlanta Hawks as an example. There's never been an official trade package or trade offer on the table as it's been reported by Mark Stein. But listen, if there have been ongoing negotiations between those two teams, and all of a sudden Atlanta has their ears perk up that there's possibility that Giannis could be traded this deadline, wouldn't you just shut down having any sort of conversations with the Mavericks altogether? You're like, okay, let's think about this for a second. On the one hand, you have generational superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo. He is 31 years old. He's much less injury prone as Anthony Davis. He's won a championship. Okay, but we could also, pay $54 million a year this year for Anthony Davis, who may play half the games. He may help us make a strong playoff run. Guys, if I'm the Hawks, like, that's a very easy equation to solve. Like, we're going for Giannis. We're going to throw all the things that the Dallas Mavericks thought that they could get excited about. We're going to give those to the Bucks, right? That New Orleans Pelicans picks, right? Zachary Reese-Shea, all the expiring contracts, all the things that we have been holding our breath for. That's what Milwaukee would get from Atlanta. And that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make in today's episode, is that I don't know that there are going to be any trades that the Dallas Mavericks make unless something happens with Giannis. And that's a little bit terrifying. It's a little bit frustrating, if you ask me, because we obviously are not an awesome team that's going to be making a playoff run. Now, if we decide to keep the team together and we're not going to make any trades whatsoever before the deadline, let me know what you think about this question in the comments section. Do you think that if the Mavericks don't make moves, that is their way of saying, we think this team is good enough to make a play-in run? Or do you interpret that as saying, well, we know that this team isn't very good and we're not making any trades. That is hopefully to cement our effort in tanking. I tend to think that, man, I kind of go back and forth on this one about like how I'm interpreting what like the thought process of the Dallas Mavericks front office, right? Because we've had all those reports about Dumont wanting to see AD, Kyrie, and Cooper Flagg on the floor together. We've seen them say things like, we don't feel pressure to move Anthony Davis before the deadline because he makes us better whenever he's on the floor. Guys, if we keep this team together and don't make any trades, whether it has to do with Giannis or not, to me, that says that we feel pretty confident about our squad, right? And if we're not making a run this year, then we're confidently punting to next season thinking, okay, we'll have a fully healthy Kyrie. We'll have Cooper Flagg in his second year. We'll have a rising star in Max Christie. We'll have Derek Lively returning from injuries. We'll have PJ Washington, hopefully past all this ankle injury stuff. We'll have Anthony Davis. Like, guys, you could, as I say all this out loud, I don't like it. Please hear me say that I don't like that thought process. But I think that is what is happening right now, especially as everyone in the NBA is waiting around for Giannis to decide what he's going to do. The reason I put it all this way is, guys, because I'm sure you saw the report that, like, I think it came from Brian Windhorst. Me and my dad call him Windbag because sometimes you can't really just fully take what he says as the gospel truth. But this one I did believe in, that there are deals that were all but finalized that are that they put pauses on because, again, if you could make all these, if you could put together a trade package for Andrew Wiggins or Michael Porter Jr. Why wouldn't you put that same package, if not something more attractive, together for a Giannis? Like, guys, there's just a lot of moving pieces, and that big puzzle piece, the Giannis puzzle piece, needs to fall so that we can have some clarity about what we're going to do. Now, just I'll wrap it up here. If Giannis gets traded quickly, like here in the next week or so, that is very good for the Dallas Mavericks and Anthony Davis, because now Anthony Davis is the most talented and biggest star that is available on the trade market. If Giannis decides to go ahead and kill the rumors altogether and say, under no circumstances am I going to another team, I am so committed to staying here, that's really good for the Dallas Mavericks and Anthony Davis, because again, now Giannis is off the table. Teams that were focused on trying to make a win now move by trading for a superstar can now turn their sights to someone like Anthony Davis, who is supposed to come back healthy for the playoffs. So those are two scenarios that could be good for the Dallas Mavericks here on the Giannis front. Now, obviously, it's just the waiting that's so frustrating. I would say just go ahead and trade him to the New York Knicks, right? Ironic that we're playing the Knicks today, and I'm talking about trading Giannis to the Knicks. Let's just get it over with. The Knicks could offer the OG Anunoby. They could offer Deuce McBride, Mitchell Robinson, and a lot of picks for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think they should do it. Let's move on. Last segment of the day. This report came out yesterday. It was a pretty dead weekend as far as trade reports or anything exciting of that nature. And I'm not going to say that this is a shocking revelation or anything that you should be excited about, but it was reported that our very own D'Angelo Russell is expected to receive interest from teams that are in need of secondary or tertiary ball handlers coming off the bench. And certainly D'Lo can give you that, I guess. I would love for him to be included in any sort of Anthony Davis or Daniel Gafford trade, because the more money that you combine going out, the more flexible our cap situation is going to be next season. And that's a pretty great thing. It was also reported that the Mavericks preferred to keep Najee Marshall. Thank you. That is great news. There was a big however that Mark Stein added to that, though. He said, however, if teams are making aggressive trades for Najee, certainly the Mavericks should do their due diligence and listening for offers. But that's all I've got for you today. Again, I think the Mavericks are going to beat the New York Knicks today. See, I got it right that time. Today, this afternoon at the Madison Square Garden, we will beat the Knicks. Cooper Flagg will return. He will have his first career triple-double. And hopefully, because it's a day game and things will be over by about 6 p.m. Mountain Time, maybe then we could also get some fun, sexy trade rumors or updates tonight from Sean Sharania or Mark Stein or really anybody. It was a boring weekend. Let's pick up some steam here, fam. But make sure before you leave that you hit like, subscribe. Let's continue this conversation down in the comment section. And as always, y'all, be good. Party on.